like that. So if it's born out of bias, then it has to be questioned today. And if it's questioned today, then some of the decisions that have been taken to discontinue will be considered. The other question is, if today we are discontinuing the decision to prosecute, is it also based on fairness? I think the overarching objective of this is to bring justice and also to recover funds that were lost to the state as a result of individuals' action. Yes, you can question a non-prosecutor on the basis of political, which decided case. You can question it like we're going to do. And obviously, the Attorney General will seek to explain the political side maybe on Monday. But for us, we as citizens are looking for justice where it's supposed to be delivered.
Is this justice for you? Does this represent justice? Recovery of 60%?
For me, 100% recovery would have been the best. But if you look at the process that has gone on, there are instances where you've gone through the whole process and recovered nothing.
Correct.
And so for us, the first is to recover the funds and also ensure justice. So individuals who are innocent do not go to prison. And also those who are supposed to go to prison or suffer the punishment. Something, I'll take it beyond the legal side and go to the financial side. So our corporate governance regime must be enhanced, particularly in the banking sector. So there's this principle that Professor Bochi mentioned, that banks cannot fail, and banks should not fail. Why? Because when a bank fails, it affects all aspects of the economy. Banks are the fulcrum of our economy. They support the telecom sector, the manufacturing sector, the industry sector, the agri sector. So if a bank fails, all other sectors of the economy are going to be affected adversely. What caused some of the challenges that we have, for which reason people are being prosecuted today? The first one is lack of competent management. So there are instances where people who were in affairs of these banks were not competent and were not the right people. So in the first place, under what circumstances did they get into positions of the board or executive? So how do we address that? The regulator should ensure that there's proper due diligence before people are accepted to be board members of financial institutions. And they should not be related parties, because when you have family and friends on the board, there's no accountability. The second one is to ensure effective risk management. There are instances where loans were given out to people who did not qualify to receive those loans, and yet they received those loans. And the lack of effective risk management can lead to collapse of banks. A few years ago, about 3 banks nearly went down because a loan was granted without effective risk management. The person who took the loan for about 3 or 4 banks failed to use the loan for the purpose for which the person took it. And as a result of that, nearly 3 banks nearly went down. So if you do not have the right people in management, you will see loans being granted to the wrong people. The third is disclosure. If a loan is being granted or a facility is being granted and a board member or any other person in management is a related party to that company, the person must disclose. And the person must recuse himself for the process of granting the loan. If we do not allow those processes to work, then we are going to have the situation that we are having. So in the absence of effective boards, you see instances where these banks are going down. And I'll give you a very good example. So Elon Musk decided to pay himself a huge bonus. What happened? The board members went to court and blocked that bonus. Our board members of banks and financial institutions are empowered to go to court and prevent management from doing what they are supposed to do, or even prevent them from doing what is not right. So Elon Musk, after he failed in that case, because the judge ruled against him, he said judges should not be in the boardroom. But judges should be in the boardroom where the wrong things are being done. And so if our board members are not empowered, they will fail to supervise this, and instances where the person is not even qualified to be on the board, they cannot challenge the decision of management. And so I think we should look at it broadly, that the regulator should enforce the law. The Banking Act empowers the Bank of Ghana to do a lot of things.
How do you feel that you were called upon as a taxpayer to pay money towards this 30 billion that was spent in the cleanup, and yet none of those in charge of regulation, those who were supposed to ensure that what happened did not happen, none whatsoever is answering for it? Not in some other place or in a courtroom.
And I think...
How do you feel about that?
I mean, for me as a person, I feel bad. is something that we should even not have allowed to happen. And in one of the forums I attended, beyond even we the taxpayers paying, there was a point where financial institutions were asked to pay certain levies to support. These are financial institutions who did not contribute to this mismanagement and collapse of the banks. So a financial institution is being asked to pay additional taxes for the mismanagement by another bank or institution who they were not involved in management. So it is beyond even the citizens, the banks that are doing well and ensuring the right things are done. In one of the international banks, the CEO said some of the things they read about these financial institutions that collapse, they cannot even think of doing them, not even to think of even executing them. They cannot even think, because in an international bank, they have proper controls. And so if you fail to implement the right controls, these things will happen. So as citizens, we are asking the question.
What do you expect to hear from the Attorney General when he brings the explanation about the 60%, which should translate into 3.4 billion Ghana cedis?
I think beyond the recovery of the 60%, are we bringing individuals who mismanage public funds? Because it's a private institution, as said, but as soon as they receive public funds, they are accountable to the state.
Okay.